Sports Channel. Live from the Big O in Montreal, Canada, Sports Channel presents New York Mets baseball. Tonight, the Mets take on the Expos in the fourth and final game of this series. Hello again, everybody. I'm Fran, Healy, along with Rusty Staub. We'll be bringing you the play-by-play as the Mets and the Expos square off in the final game of this series, and the Mets have the broom out, Rusty.
They certainly do. They have played very, very well on this whole trip, Francis. Could have had 2 or 3 more wins. Didn't work out that way, but certainly coming into this ballpark, winning 3 in a row against the Expos is a big deal for this ball club.
Well, they've played the Expos tough all season long, and the pitching has been terrific for the New York Mets as you take a look at the stats from the last 5 games.
A 4-1 record, only 33 singles allowed in those 5 games, but the big deal is there's only been 3 extra base hits. The pitching has just really surprisingly dominated this Montreal Expo group.
Well, speaking of pitching, tonight the Mets have the southpaw on the mound.
Well, Bill Pulsipher had a tremendous outing the last time against the Expos. 8 innings, no runs, 6 hits, walked 2 and struck out 1. But again, he's the outstanding getaway day guy. He's the kind of guy that you want to see pitching on this last day. He gets the ball, he throws it, the defense is ready, and he throws strikes.
And on the other side of the field, a right-hander who's been very tough on the Mets.
Well, very tough's an understatement. The Mets have never beat him. He's got a 6-0 record, a 1.36 earned run ERA, and 2-0 this season. You just have to give him a lot of credit. And the Mets do want to beat him. They are really tired of the scene that's happened with Martinez.
Well, it's interesting. When Martinez was traded from the Dodgers to the Expos criticized the trade because they traded away Delano to Shields. But as you scrutinize that trade, the Expos got the best part of that trade. Now, stay with us. We gave you the starting pitchers for tonight's ball game. When we come back, we'll go back to Bob Pop in our Game Time studios, and then we'll give you the lineups.
Bob Papa in the Sports Authority Game Time Studios. 1 minute until the first pitch in Montreal as the Mets try to complete a 4-game sweep of the Expos and get their 8th win on this road trip. Just to update you, as we told you earlier, just a correction, Moises Alou of the Expos out for the year, a torn muscle in his shoulder, so Montreal fading out of any wild card race, now lose one of their best players. Let's take it to the Big O in Montreal for all the action tonight. Here's Fran, Healy, and Rusty Staub. Guys?
All right, Bob. And you're looking at the Big O in Montreal, Canada for the Mets. Their lineup reads like that. Joe Orsulak in left field leading off. He'll be followed by Jose Vizcaino and then Carl Everett. The middle 3, Jeff Kent, Rico Brogna, and then Todd Hundley. The bottom 3, Ryan Thompson, Butch Husky, and the southpaw, Bill Pulsipher. So Dallas Green looking on as he sends Joe Orsulak to the plate to face Pedro Martinez. Martinez with real good stuff. His best pitch is his fastball. He throws it over 90 miles per hour. His record this season, 12-6. And the first pitch to Orsulak. Up high. Ball 1. Martinez gets the signs from the catcher Darren Fletcher, and Orsulak hits a line drive in a left field. So the Mets have their leadoff man on here in the first inning.
And these pitching stats are brought to you by starter Pedro Martinez. 12 wins, 8 losses, 3.53 earned run average. 165 and 2/3 innings pitched, giving up only 135 hits. Walked 55 and struck out 150.
And he'll face Jose Vizcaino. He's batting .278. He has 3 home runs, 51 RBIs. Joe Orsulak on first base, nobody out. Sean Berry, the third baseman for the Expos, in looking for a bunt. But Orsulak swings away, fouls it back, so it's 0-1 on Jose Vizcaino.
It's amazing when you look back over a season, you see how well you've done against certain clubs and not against others. You look at Orsulak, 7 hits now and 13 at bats against the Expos. Just an incredible, batting average against any team. Just dominated.
And the 0-1 pitch to Vizcaino, right back up the middle, but the shortstop over to second for 1 and back to first. They don't get Vizcaino at first base. But Mark Gresselanek taking a base hit away from Vizcaino, playing him up the middle.
That's where they had him. They were not playing him that way. No chance. Of course, a double play in order. A lot of the infielders do like to get a little bit closer to the bag, and that helped the Expos.
And take a look at the U.S. Postal Service defense for the Expos. Andrews, Lansing, Gresselanek, and Berry in the infield. Left to right in the outfield. Cordero, White, and Santangelo. Fletcher behind the plate. Carl Everett will be the batter. Everett's been hot. He's batting .248. He has 11 home runs and he takes a strike. He has 41 RBIs. He was not supposed to start with the Mets, but Ryan Thompson was injured coming out of spring training. Everett got the nod, got off to a pretty good start, then struggled. Was sent to the minor leagues. Dallas Green said it was one of the most difficult players to send down in his career. It was tough on Dallas Green, so when he brought him back up, he wanted to instill confidence in Everett. He put him in the third hole.
That was a big decision to put him there, as much as he had struck out in the early part of the season. There's only one way you're going to find out about a player who is supposed to be a run producer. You have to put him in that position.
He's there now. Runner on first base, Jose Vizcaino. And Everett fouls the heater back. It's 1-2. Now, I was talking about Pedro Martinez's fastball and how effective he's been as a starter, 12-8 on the season. The Expos pitching coach, Joe Kerrigan, wants to make him a short man next year. He is really positioning himself to make him a short man out of the pen. He said he'll be one of the best in baseball.
Doesn't say much for Mel Rojas at the moment.
Check this game at first. He's safe. Mel Rojas, a relative of Felipe Alou, allows the hitters to put the ball in play. He's a sinker ball type pitcher. Tough to pitch with a sinker ball here in Montreal on the artificial turf.
You know, I've always been a proponent of that actually being a plus in some ways. We'll talk about that as we go along here.
1-2 pitch to Everett, up high 2-2. If the ball's hit at the infielder, it's a sure 6-4-3 double play.
It seems, if you look at the guys, especially if you go back to the old Astrodome days, the pitchers that kept the ball down, hit a lot of balls on the turf. The infielders play a little deeper. Double plays do come more frequently. They seem to do okay.
2-2 pitches inside on Everett, 3-2. Well, you'd have to have a relatively quick infielder out there.
Well, you got to have good infield defense. There's no doubt about that.
But they got to be, and they also have to be quick. Where on the natural surface, positioning is as important. Where here, you can position a guy, and it's not as important as that quickness. 3-2 on Carl Everett. There goes the runner. Base hit right field. Vizcaino on his way to third base, and the Mets have runners on the corners here in the first with one man down.
Pull that ball into the hole with a guy moving. You're going to be first and third all the time. The number 4 hole hitter's always got to love that. He gets a chance to hit with man on third, less than 2 outs. When I was hitting fourth, I used to be pulling for that number 3 guy. Put it in the hole, brother.
And Jeff Kent will step in, batting .266. 17 home runs, 47 RBIs. Pretty good production for a second baseman, but of course Jeff Kent He's not sure if he'll be a Met next year. He's one of those guys who's got some value in a trade.
He does. He's got a lot of pop for a second baseman. He's worked hard at his job. A lot of questions for the Mets whether he or Alfonso should be the second baseman.
Well, they have that luxury as Ken takes a strike. I think if anything hurts Jeff, it's his ability to adjust as far as his personality is concerned. He's a relatively quiet guy. I had a conversation with him. He said, that's my personality. He said, I'm quiet, I'm very intense, very serious about things. He said that sometimes I rub people the wrong way. But it might hurt him here in New York as he takes a ball, so it's 1-1. It hurt Greg Jeffries in New York.
There is no doubt that playing in New York, some people can handle it and thrive in it. Other people, it just buries them. They just can't handle the pressure on a daily basis. I'm not saying that's Jeff Kent's problem.
What's up, Vizcaino and Everett on the bases. One man down. There's a line drive right at Gresalonic to throw to first. Not in time. The ball gets away from Andrews, and the Mets will not score. Nice block of home plate by Darren Fletcher to end the inning. Good hustle by Andrews, the first baseman. And that'll do it for the Mets. They strand a runner, fail to score. We played a half inning here at the Big O. No score, the Expos and the Mets. We'll take a look at Felipe Alou's lineup. FP Santangelo leading off in right field for the Expos. He'll be followed by Mark Gresalonic. And then the left fielder, Will Cordero. The middle three, Sean Berry, Rondell White, and Mike Lansing. The bottom three, Shane Andrews, Darren Fletcher, and then the right-hander, Pedro Martinez. So Felipe Alou looking out at Bill Pulsipher. His first pitch to FP Santangelo is a ball. Santangelo batting .278, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, 6-year minor league player. He takes up high, ball 2. The Expos wanted him to be a replacement player in the spring. He said no. Said best move he ever made. There's a strike.
First teammates for sure. Thought it was interesting that Bush had the big home run for the Dodgers yesterday, tie the game up that they eventually won. Hit a big home run, 7th inning. Dodgers behind, pinch hit home run, big deal.
They swept the Pirates. Fouled back. So Santangelo now has a 2-2 count. But Santangelo played for Ottawa, AAA affiliate with the Expos. On their day off, some of the players from the Ottawa Ball Club will drive here to the Big O and watch a game. Santangelo never did it. Struck out right there. The reason he didn't do it is he said, when I finally play with the Expos, this is the first time I'm going to walk into Olympic Stadium as you look at Bill Pulsipher.
Well, the pitching stats are brought to you again by Starter. You see a 5-6 record, a 3.79 earned run average. Here's the rest of the story.
Pulsipher's dominated the Montreal Expos.
Shut him out for 8 innings in his last outing against the Expos. He was dominant. Even though he didn't strike a lot of people out, Francis, he really pitched a fine ball.
Yes, he did. He's facing a kid he faced last year, the player of the year in the Eastern League last year, Mark Gresalonic. Takes inside, 2-0. Pulsipher was a starting pitcher in Binghamton last year, pitched very well. And as I mentioned, Gresalonic, the player of the year in the Eastern League, as he takes outside, 3-0.
Expos have to be a little disappointed at his movement into the big leagues. I mean, he has a long way to go. He's a young player, but they felt he was going to be more of a factor this year.
Well, I think, well, we'll take a look at the defense for the Mets right now. Get back to Gresalonic in a moment. The Mets defense brought to you by the United States Postal Service. Bronya, Kent, Vizcaino, and Husky in the infield. Orsolak, Thompson, and Everett left to right in the outfield. Hundley behind the plate. The batter now will be Will Cordero, who is now a left fielder. He was a shortstop. He struggled. And it took a lot of coaxing to get him out to the outfield. He had a lot of trouble throwing the ball.
20 errors.
And that's nothing as he takes a strike compared to Jose Offerman, who is upset because he's been told he lost his shortstop position with the Dodgers.
Chad Vonville, who started the year with the Expos, is now the shortstop for the Dodgers.
0-1 on Cordero, who's an offensive player. The ball gets by Hundley. Greslanic moving to second base on the pass ball. It looks like it hit Hundley in a meat hand. Maybe it bounced.
Let's take a look at it. Ball down and in.
It bounced.
It is off the. That's a tough pitch. And you have to remember, too, that Hundley has that bad hand and wrist.
Scored a wild pitch.
Yes.
And it's 1-1 on Will Cordero. He hits a chopper to first. Easy play for Bronya. Greslanic moves to third. We were talking about Greslanic. His struggles this year, his first year in the big leagues, his first full year in the big leagues. Rusty, when they brought him up, Cordero was a shortstop. Greslanic is a pretty good shortstop. He had to sit and watch. And I think sometimes when you come up into the major leagues and you sit and watch for a while, you never get acclimated, as opposed to the guy who's put in the line of fire right away, getting his feet wet.
I agree fully. Get that consistent at bat for a day.
And know you can get back in the lineup as Sean Berry takes ball one. Berry, batting .330, has 13 home runs, 49 RBIs. And he takes inside. So it's 2-0 on Berry. Berry with 263 at bats this year. It's now 2-1. Pulsipher pitching with Greslanic on third base. 2 men gone. He likes to throw that big curveball. A lot of times he will bounce that curveball. So you wonder with the man on third base, does that take that pitch out of his repertoire? Right back to Pulsipher. Easy play. And the Expos strand the runner on third. We played one. No score. The Mets and the Expos. Well, back here at the Big O in Montreal, Canada, Rico Bronya will lead it off.
Here's a play we're going to show you in just a minute here. When Jose Vizcaino tried to score on the end of the first inning. We'll show you it after this pitch.
Bronya with 17 home runs hits the first pitch straight up in the air. Do they have room behind the plate? No.
Okay, this is in the first inning. Watch Vizcaino. This is how you get in trouble as a base runner. Watch him slide. Now watch him try to get just to the plate, come down and touch it. The catcher blocked the plate on him. He did not have the ball. We've talked about this a lot. If you slide to be just at the plate, you're going to be out every time if there's a good, strong, aggressive catcher. You've got to slide through that catcher. He's trying to take advantage of you as a base runner. You either have to pop him or slide through him. Now, as a guy who was a catcher, Francis, talk to me. I know you didn't like that guy sliding through you, did you?
Bronya just fouled that fastball off. No, I'll tell you what. They teach the catcher to put that left leg out there to block home plate. When I was a young player, Willie Mays, one of the hardest sliders to play the game, told me when I was on the Giants, he said, if I ever play against you, you put that left leg out there, I'm going to break it. So I never put it out there.
Well,
I had no guts.
Well, first off, it's the way the game is played. You know, if a catcher tries to take advantage of it like that, I mean, this is professional baseball. You've got to go into him.
Oh, absolutely. Or try to slide around him.
You can do the dive around with the tag.
0-2 on Bronya. Good fastball, misses inside. 1-2. It's tough to move that catcher's leg if he's got it planted. If you
I moved that baby around a few times.
If you hit it hard enough, there's a good chance you'll break it. Hard hit ball, but foul.
Even in the All-Star game, you remember way back, Pete Rose, Ray Fosse. Fosse blocked the plate with that leg. I mean, the aggressive players do one thing. They got to go through the catcher. You've got to go through him. You can't go to him.
Bronya takes ball 2, so it's 2-2. Pete Rose, the night before that play happened, had dinner with Ray Fosse.
It's the game. You know, it's nothing personal.
Foul out of play, so we'll do it again at 2-2.
Now, on that play, instead of the Mets maybe getting a run, they were out of the inning. And on one thing, if Pete was coming in from third base, I bet it'd have been safe.
Swung on and missed. One down. So Martinez striking out Bronya, his first strikeout in this ball game.
Pulled a string on him. Very good pitch.
And the batter now be Todd Hundley. Hundley with 14 home runs, 46 RBIs. Saw that 292 batting average. You see that fastball take off? It's a ball. Trade was not well received when Martinez was traded for Delino DeShields. Outside to Hundley.
Might have made the general manager of this ball club at the time leave.
Yeah, Dan Duquette was a general manager, was not happy that he was forced to make the trade because of DeShields' salary. But it turns out Martinez is doing a bigger job here in Montreal than DeShields did in LA, or is doing in LA as Hundley fouls it off. Although DeShields has had a number of injuries that have hurt him since he showed up out there in LA.
He got hit in the face with the ball in some kind of a play that knocked him out for a while.
I think Mike Bush might have been involved in a play a few years ago, the replacement play. 2-1 on Todd Hundley. There's that slow curveball that Martinez has been fooling around with. He just throws it up there and he'll catch the hitter off guard, especially because of that good heater. 2-2 on Hundley. He gets jams and fouls the ball back.
Hundley is.
In case you missed our open, here's Martinez's numbers against the Mets. He's been in control. Two-two pitch. Change up down low. 3-2. Well, when you think of taking a guy like Martinez and making him into a short man out of the bullpen, it's a radical move if the Expos decide to do it. Swung on and missed. 2 down here in the second inning as Martinez strikes out his second batter in the inning. Moving a starter to the bullpen.
Well, I think they ought to keep him right where he is. Pull the string here again. Hundley way out front.
A manager who made a major decision years ago moving a starter to the bullpen was Yogi Berra when he moved Dave Righetti to the pen. Breaking ball misses outside to Ryan Thompson. 1-0.
They're down on Mel Rojas now. Mel Rojas 24 saves and 34 opportunities, so you know they're used to somebody not giving it up too often.
Inside 2-0.
But Mel Rojas has the kind of stuff that you can use as a stopper. He's got that split-fingered fastball. He can strike you out.
He might be better suited to come out as a middleman. Swung on and missed. 2-1. You see that swing Ryan Thompson took right there? Well, he hit his first home run since coming off the disabled list on Saturday. And then he made the announcement he's going for production in the home run category. He took up high there. 3-1.
I've always felt the worst thing any player can do would be to tell people what he wants to do. Just go out and do it.
Couldn't catch up with that heater right there. So it's 3-2 on Ryan Thompson. 2 men are gone here in the second inning.
You know, he's trying to impress. He wants to have an opportunity to be the regular center fielder. Things have not gone that well for him this year.
It didn't go well right there as Martinez strikes out Thompson and all 3 Mets here in the second inning. We played 1.5. Still no score here at the Big O.
Saturday mornings have never been so much fun. Wake up to the show made just for kids. Dynamets. Join host Jennifer Giles for more baseball fun and games than ever. Don't miss Dynamets every Saturday morning at 8, only on Sports Channel.
Ondell White leads it off for the Expos here in the bottom of the second. He takes the curveball down low, ball 1. Ondell White with 11 home runs, 48 RBIs this season. Expos are very high on him. And that's one of the reasons why he uses the whole field. Well, fans, Inter-Mets is back on Sports Channel tomorrow when the Mets return home to face the Astros. Remember to email your questions and comments to us during tomorrow's game, and we'll select a few messages to respond to in the broadcast booth. Postmark that email to Sports Channel online address. You see the address right there. Don't forget to include your name and hometown. Rusty will take you through the complexities of the computer and the email as we go through this game.
That's one of my fortes. You're right. I really work with those computers well, don't I?
Well, we're looking forward to the messages, and if you don't have the answer, Rusty will make it up.
Thanks, Francis.
Mike Lansing facing Bill Pulsipher. Rondell White on first base, and Lansing takes a strike, so it's 0-1. You know, Mike Lansing.
In this exchange of lineups since the injury to Alou and Rondell White moving into the 5 slot, he was leading off, first to second most of the season. Now he had 73 runs scored, which really is going to put him in a position now of not getting 100 runs scored. I mean, you're doing everything for the club, but when you look at only 48 RBIs for a number 5 guy, he's really been the leadoff hitter so much of the year. 73 runs scored. He had an outside chance of maybe getting there had the lineup's not been changed so much,
Yes. Chopper. Husky. Cabronia.
And a good job by Vizcaino to go over and cover third. Rondell White had an idea of trying to kick it in and maybe get the third on his own.
Shane Andrews will be the batter now with one man out here in the bottom of the second inning. Rondell White on second base. Real good speed on second base. A lot of people feel the Expos are playing for next year. I was surprised to hear that. There goes Rondell White, and it's a base hit in left field, and there's a collision. Huskies hurt. Throw comes into second base. White scores. Husky is injured. Remind you of the pain that Cliff Lloyd was in when Todd Hundley ran into him at Shea Stadium. This man is in agony.
Well, the umpire at third, Jerry Davis, made some kind of a call as if the fielder interfered with the base runner. He went for the ball, and then there was a collision after. I don't know if you can say that's interference when you're going for the ball and don't get there. He pointed at the third baseman. We'll have to see what they call on that.
The key word in the rule book is intent.
Now watch the play. He was going there. Now he tries to come back, and he falls down. Now he's right there. That's the base runner's fault for that collision, not the third baseman. There's no way they can call interference like that.
But there was no intent on either one's part. You just got to proceed with the play right there.
Well, the umpire was pointing from the time go at the third baseman. Here comes Rondell White, and that's totally unintentional, going for the ball. You see Manuel pointing because the umpire was pointing. Yeah. He says he's safe. The umpire called interference.
Well, Butch Husky looks like he's going to try and stay in his ball game. He hurt his hand. Husky's used to those collisions. He had a full ride to Oklahoma as a tight end. I talked to him about that the other day, and he said he misses that game of football.
Okay, here's another look at it. Now, do you think Rondell White tried to go around this guy at third base?
Oh,
it's a pretty good collision. He tags the bag with his hand, and he's just coasting in because the umpire has called interference. And we'll see how they really handle this. It looks like Husky's going to go off.
So Butch Husky leaving the field.
So Billy Spires is going to get an opportunity to play third base.
A tough break for Butch Husky, trying to prove himself to the Mets. Billy Spires comes in the ball game. He'll get his 8 warm-up tosses.
On that play, tough play for Husky. Expos take that 1-0 lead. It's going to be interesting to see if they called interference in that. We have not been given any information on that yet, but there's no doubt that Jerry Davis pointed at the runner, pointed at Husky, which meant interference by the third baseman. I don't know how you can call that on that play.
The batter now will be the catcher, Darren Fletcher. Expos have a 1-0 lead here in the second inning as Fletcher takes outside from Bill Pulsipher, 1-0. Shane Andrews is on first base. Being held on by Rico Bronya as Darren Fletcher takes a strike. So it's 1-1 on the Expo catcher.
Rondell White trying to steal the base anyway. That's pretty aggressive baseball.
Well, Felipe Alou, a very aggressive manager. He has a great base running coach in Tommy Harper. And Fletcher hits the ball hard, but right at Orsolak in left field. 2 down, and Andrews retreats to first base. So 2 men gone. The batter will be Pedro Martinez, the Expo pitcher. Mets have won the first 3 games of this 4-game series as Martinez puts the ball in play. Easy play, scored 4-6. And that'll do it for the Expos. But they pick up a run. They strand a runner. Here at the Big O, we've played 2, and it's 1-0 Montreal.
Discover the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school with Dynamic Practice Organization, a revolutionary new instructional videotape. Dynamic Practice Organization features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky with his famous building block approach to athletic training. This exciting instructional videotape features the same drills, techniques, and methods that have produced baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Dynamic Practice Organization makes any coach look like a genius and organizes offensive and defensive practices that players of all ages and ability levels can't wait to attend. And immensely improves team communication skills and even conditioning. This is the instructional video that's a winner. To order your copy for only $29.95, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-942-1400. The Dynamic Practice Organization teaching video makes a great gift, too. Call now 1-800-942-1400.
Back here at the Big O, 1-0 the Expos on top of the Mets. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. And it will be Billy Spires leading off. Spires going in the lineup, replacing Butch Husky, who was hurt on a play last inning. And Spires takes down and in from Martinez, ball 1. Fastball is hit up in the air to center field, and White is going back in front of the warning track, makes the grab. 1 down.
Check that play from last inning one more time. I think they're going to give an RBI on this, and they're not going to call interference, which is probably the way it should be. Husky, let's see the umpire here. You saw him taking that left arm. He was pointing that there was interference. Jerry Manuel was yelling for it as the third base coach, but that's really not interference at all.
And Bill Pulsipher takes up high, ball 1. Swung on and missed. 1-1.
You know what also it might be saying is that Rondell White didn't look at the play. Supposed to pick up that hitter. When you're stealing a base, you're supposed to pick up the swing. Looked like he was just going to try to steal that base and dive in. Because he kept that straight line after the ball was hit. Lots to that play.
1-2 on Pulsipher. Fouled back. So we'll do it again at 1-2. Pulsipher takes. Wow.
All he's got to say is just give me that pitch too. I'll take it.
2 down. So Pedro Martinez with a quick 2 outs here in the 3rd inning.
Let's see if White looked here. He takes off. He takes a little peek. Well, that looked more like a football play than a baseball play, didn't it?
Yes, it did. As Orsulak takes inside, ball 1. Of course, you can't stay in the base path without the ball.
You have a right to go for the ball.
You have a right to go for the ball, but you can't stay in the base path without the ball. In fact, the way to get out of a rundown is Orsulak takes a strike 1-1. Is when a player releases the ball to, say, the catcher release the ball to third base. If the runner can turn quick enough and make contact with the catcher before he gets out of his way,
That's
he can
interference.
award the base. That's interference.
Yes.
So you have to get out of their way. And unfortunately for Butch Husky, he was on his way down into a football type move, and he couldn't get out of Rondell White's way, but he didn't have the ball.
I stand with my comment.
Throw this rule book out the window.
On a rundown, you're right.
2-2 now in Joe Orsulak. I also think what Nestor Shilak, the late Nestor Shilak, who's a great umpire in the American League, told me is very important. Intent. Inside to Joe Orsulak. 3-2. Did he intentionally do it? And obviously the answer is no. Husky just couldn't get out of his way. So full count on Joe Orsulak. Pedro Martinez cruising along so far. Orsulak fouls the ball back. And folks, tap the Rockies with Coors Light. Thank you, New York and New Jersey, for making Coors Light the #1 light beer.
You were talking about umpires. Baseball finally did something really nice in retiring the numbers of 3 great umpires of the past.
Full foul.
Bill Clem, Jocko Conlon, and Al Barlick.
All of them in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
All Hall of Fame umpires, and they retired their numbers. So no other umpire can now wear those numbers or use those numbers. I think that is a great thing that baseball has done. So the great umpires should be given a little more credit than they have been.
Let's see Doug Harvey get in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yes, I agree.
All 4 to Orsulak. So the Mets have a base runner. Orsulak was also a base runner back in the 1st inning when he singled. So with 2 men gone here at the Big O, we're in the top of the 3rd inning. The Mets will send Jose Vizcaino to the plate. Vizcaino grounded to short his first time up. Vizcaino takes inside. 1-0. Well, Rusty Staub, looking at your old franchise up here in Montreal, what do you think? Will they make it?
I think they'll be back. I think they probably will do a lot better than some other organizations that have struggled this year. They certainly have their payroll down.
Pirates are struggling.
Yes.
Vizcaino fouls it off. 1-1. Although the Expos lost their most popular player today for the rest of the season, Moises Salou. There's Rusty's number here. Rusty was, a lot of people feel, the most popular player ever to play here in Montreal.
I don't know what you were talking about, Francis. That guy, William Collins III from Virginia, says he's going to have a ball club next year.
He feels he'll be able to buy the Pirates. Inside, 2-1.
Actually mentioned 4 clubs, including the Expos, obviously the Pirates. Also talked about Seattle and San Diego. That's what was in the paper today anyway. That's a big statement to tell your group, prepare, we're going to play baseball here next year. A lot of work to be done.
Well, they have a stadium already. The RFK Stadium in Washington, used primarily by the Redskins, could be converted into a baseball field for at least a year. A lot of political pressure to bring a team into the Washington, D.C. area. I don't know why.
Sure, the Orioles are not for that.
And a 2-1 pitch. Fouled back. It's 2-2. Historically, teams have struggled at the gate in Washington.
It's very true, because they really have never had a team in a long, long time, or during their history, they very seldom contended. You know, it's tough to have a lot of people want to come out to the ballpark when you're never there.
Our buddy Bob Wolf broadcast a lot of those ball games for the Washington Senators. There's a nasty fastball, but it's called the ball.
Fletcher tried to help his pitcher by pulling that in a little bit. Tell you when they did draw a little bit under Ted Williams. He got him to swing the bats pretty good, and he was never considered a great manager by some of the critics, but Ted really got a lot of guys concentrating on their hitting, and they had their best years underneath Ted Williams.
And a 3-2 pitch to Vizcaino, and misses up high with Orsulak on the move. Ball 4. So with 2 men out here in the top of the third, the Mets have runners on first and second with 2 out, and the batter will be Carl Everett. We're talking about Ted Williams when he managed in Washington. A lot of people forget that Ted Williams was manager of the year one of those years in Washington.
Well, you know, after the fact, a lot of people have their own comments. I thought Ted did a magnificent job in leading. He made guys who never really were good hitters better hitters. He got everybody to be as good as they could be, and therefore their ball club performed better. How about Rod Carew with some of those young hitters this year in Anaheim? He has turned that franchise right around offensively.
Rod Carew was the Tony Gwynn of 15 years ago, 10 years ago, as Carl Everett takes down and in 1-0 on the Met right fielder. Mets trailing by 1. We're in the top of the third inning here at the Big O in Montreal, Canada. Watching all the action exclusively on SportsChannel tonight. Swung on and missed. 1-1.
Think about Rod Carew. You've talked many times about guys that don't have a lot of pop really learning how to use the bat, drop the ball down, and bunt it. He's ever a great example. He's got to be. Nobody could have been a better bunter than Rod Carew. There might be some people on his par.
Way inside to Carl Everett. 2-1. Rod Carew, as you mentioned, the batting coach with the California Angels. Angels struggling right now. They better watch those Mariners. Mariners 5 games back in the West. Pull to the right side. This should do it for the Mets. And it does. They fail to score. They strand 2. We played 2.5 at the Big O. 1-0 Montreal. We'll be back.
Bob Papa in the Sports Authority Game Time Studios. This update brought to you by MetLife. Yankees taking on the Indians in Cleveland. No score. 2 on in the third for Bernie Williams. He delivers the single off Dennis Martinez. Mike Stanley cruises in. 1-0 Yankees in the bottom of the fourth. Back to Montreal with Fran Healy and Rusty Staub. Guys?
Okay, Bob, as Santangelo, F.P. Santangelo steps in and takes ball 1. He hits this ball hard to left field. Orsulak going back, and catches it at the wall. So 1 man down. It brings us to our Coors Trivia Quiz. 10 years ago today, Pete Rose passed Ty Cobb as the all-time leader in hits. Who was the leader before Cobb?
Where's Terry Cashman when we need him? Huh?
Batter now, Mark Grzelcyk, who walked his first time up. Swings through the heater. 1-1. There's a drive in the gap, right center field. It looked like extra bases. Grzelcyk going for second. A strong throw cut off. And Grzelcyk with his first hit of the game And the third hit of the game for the Expos. So Everett taking a triple away from Greslonic, holding him to a double. The batter now, Will Cordero.
The former shortstop. Felipe said he's handling it okay.
They tried to move him for about a year.
Maybe even more.
He must have
Felipe
adjusted
also
well.
said, I think he'll be a shortstop in his career, which I think is saying something. He may not be having his career here.
He's very young. He signed at 16 years old. He takes down low.
I believe he's only 23 now.
2-0. He's an offensive player. He's been an offensive shortstop. Most of his errors came on throwing errors.
10-3-71. Yep.
He lost his confidence throwing and slinging the ball to first base as he pulls a foul. I think the way they convinced him to go to the outfield was they said, you're very important to our offense. We want you to be able to concentrate on your offense. You'll be able to concentrate a lot more in the outfield. And you see in doubles, he's one of the league leaders with 32. So the Chrysler league leaders, you see Mark Grace leading the pack. 2-1 on Will Cordero. It's a nasty pitch right there. 2-2. And when you're struggling with your throwing, you're playing a key defensive position like a shortstop, it'll affect your offense. Pulsipher going for the strikeout, and it's pulled foul. Pulsipher told me when he tries to strike out the right-hander, he goes with that big curveball, breaks it down and in. And he hung that pitch to Cordero.
And one of the other things that happens to a hitter who is struggling like that, we're talking about Cordero, is that he not only struggles a lot, he can't get sleep, he can't eat. A lot of things are affected.
Oh, there's a curveball again, and this one's up in the strike zone also. Cordero pulls it foul. By the way, Jay Horowitz, Director of Public Relations for the Mets, just told me that Butch Husky sprained the wrist. It's not broken, and he is day-to-day.
Sure, they'll have an X-ray on that thing, right?
A lot of these ballparks are equipped with X-ray machines as Cordero swings over the breaking ball. So Pulsipher strikes out Cordero. 2 down. Now let's take a look at that Coors Trivia Quiz once again. 10 years ago today, Pete Rose passed Ty Cobb as the all-time leader in hits. Who was the leader before Cobb? Well, let me think about this. Honus Wagner. Was I right? Thank you. So Honus Wagner, 3,430. Sean Berry, the batter, grounded out his first time up. He takes up high ball one. The other day I had an opportunity to interview John Wooden for a future Halls of Fame show, and John Wooden, his favorite sport is baseball, and he told me his favorite players, and Honus Wagner was the shortstop on his favorite team, and he knew his stats, knew everything about him.
Honus could play.
Ralph was happy when I told him. There's a high fly ball left field. This baby will stay in the ballpark. Orsolak camped under it, makes the grab for round number 3. So the Expos stranded runner field. The score, we've played 3 here at the Big O, and it's 1-0 Montreal.
Top of the 4th inning, 1-0 Expos. Jeff Kent will lead it off. Last at bat against Pedro Martinez, he hit a rocket, but it was right at the shortstop. Martinez has struck out 4, walked 2. Both of them in the last inning with 2 men down, but he got out of the jam. Way inside. So all of a sudden he has had trouble getting the ball over the plate. Struck out the side in the second. Bronya, Hundley, and Thompson. Strike called on the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. You think a pitcher like that, Fran, is getting too strikeout conscious, and that's why he starts walking people?
That's a possibility. Also, I think he's very uncomfortable to bat against, and I think that's a plus for him. Like right there.
Well, he has hit 9 batters this year, and that's an improvement.
Yeah, last year he was hitting everybody. In fact, teams were out to get him. Finally, they decided to teach him how to pitch inside. They put up a mannequin down the right field line, and they had him throw inside to the mannequin. I wonder how many times he took the head off of the mannequin.
I don't know. What was that crazy movie? Hard shot again at the shortstop. Deep position. Grudzelinic. Nice play. 1 down.
But, you know, some pitchers can have, their control can be too good, and a hitter goes to the plate, he's comfortable. If you face a guy like Martinez, and you're uncomfortable because even if it's unintentional, he's wild inside, he's wild outside. Plus, he has that 94-mile-per-hour fastball. I think some pitchers can be too comfortable, even with good stuff.
I agree. Geez, I hate to say that twice in one game. I've agreed with you. What's wrong with me? Yeah, the wild thing in Major League. Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah, he was a little bit on the wild side.
Took the head off that mannequin.
I've caught some guys like that.
I had to hit against him. So have you.
I'll tell you, I faced Nolan Ryan in the minor leagues. He make that wild thing look like he had good control.
It's okay if a pitcher's wild up and down. It's that inside and outside you don't like. Well, that's an excellent changeup. Bronya way out front. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mets trailing 1-0. Fastball after the changeup. He blows the fastball right by Rico for his 5th strikeout.
Well, that fastball looked a lot faster because of the previous pitch, a straight changeup. Look at this heater. That's a tough pitch to hit, and you get up there by the eyes and says, well, I can hit this, and forget that ball was by Rico Bronya, who has a good major league bat.
That'll bring up Todd Hundley. Second time Rico has been struck out. Strike to Hundley.
And Hundley struck out his first time up chasing that changeup, but not chasing it, was in the strike zone.
It's way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. On Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, donor cards will be given out at Shea Stadium. The Mickey Mantle Fund, the donor fund. That will happen at Shea Stadium, so everybody come out and sign up. I'm going to sign up.
Great cause.
The great legacies Mickey will leave is probably the donor program for organs. Such an important thing in life. So come on out on Tuesday and Wednesday and sign up. If you can't make it, listen to Fran and I and Ralph Kiner right here on Sports Channel.
We have our email tomorrow night and Wednesday night.
Email, faxes.
METS.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Hundley.
In fact, in the last time we had the METS here on Sports Channel, most asked question was, when will Todd Hundley be back?
Here he is. Back up the middle. Way up in the hole. Nice try by Lansing. Hundley got down the line. He knew if he just ran firmly, he was going to get a base hit, but that showed a lot of ground covered by Lansing.
And not only that, but a pretty good speed from Hundley getting down to first baseline. Lansing with the long throw, and Hundley beating the throw to first base. Lansing has become a little bit unpopular, I should say a lot unpopular here in Montreal. And after a recent road trip, they were flying back, and Lansing was not happy that the pilot made an announcement in French rather than English about some landing instructions. I'm sure there's more to that story than that, but that's what we're getting. And Mike had some things to say, and people are not happy with him here in Montreal.
The ball gets through the catcher. On the play, Hundley moves to second base. Wild pitch. Only the 5th wild pitch of the season. That almost seems like very few for Pedro Martinez, as much as he's all over the place. So Thompson, the chance to tie the game up. 2 men down, 2 balls and no strikes. Swing and a miss.
The way Martinez is throwing, the Mets are going to have to scratch and claw for a run to tie this ball game up, because he has been very tough. He threw the ball right by Ryan Thompson's last time up.
Well, the thing that some hitters get in their minds is that if they swing hard, you know, and it's a hard pitcher, they got to swing even harder, and it's just the opposite. That's when you have to be quick. You've got to use your hands more. It's the bat speed through that hitting zone, and they have the bat in the right location. You wind up taking batting practice, and somebody says, now just swing half speed. And all of a sudden, you know, you're hitting balls on a warning track. You're hitting balls almost out of the ballpark, and it should teach you something. Ryan Thompson has not learned that. He thinks you've got to swing as hard as you can on every pitch. And that's why he strikes out so much. 3 balls and a strike. He's in the driver's seat. One of those spots where he's got a really good chance to get a fastball to hit. It's out of the strike zone. Ball 4. So walk number 3 for Martinez. Runners again on first and second with 2 down. And Bill Spires will hit for the second time. He hit a high fly deep to center field his first at bat, replacing Husky, who was injured on a collision with Rondell White at third base. Outfield actually shading Spires to the left field side. Rondell White. Normally when you look at that catcher, you can tell what the signs are, but they change them with the runner at second base.
I think the easiest way to confuse a runner at second base is touch your mask, chest protector, and shin guards, and then change it on the next pitch. Give a simple first sign. They're not on second base long enough to decipher the signs.
Swing and a miss, strike 1.
You just make them think on second base. Touch your mask, chest protector, shin guard. Go in, flash down 4 signs. The first one counts. Next pitch, touch your shin guard first. Go to the chest protector, the mask, go in. First sign counts. Keep it simple. You complicate it, that pitcher's going to cross you up.
Little looper. This could be trouble. Coming in hard and sliding and making the play is Will Cordero. Just like that, he takes a hit away from Spires. That will end the inning. The Mets strand 2 after 3.5 innings. The Expos lead the Mets 1-0.
Little investment advice. Bip Roberts 1986 rookie card worth about $275. 20 years from now, who knows? 1,000, 2,000, might even go.
Bip, man, you were looking at Robin Roberts. Says here your car's worth 4 cents.
Yo, T, 4 cents if it's in excellent condition, but 10 cents if it's totally mint.
Oh, sorry.
Kids, Saturday, September 16th is Sports Channel Back to School Day. All fans 14 and under at the 1:40 Mets Phillies game will get a school assignment booklet, which also features articles on the Mets, Nets, Devils, and Islanders, all courtesy of Sports Channel. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX during business hours or stop by the Mets clubhouse shops. A per-ticket surcharge applies. Bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Expos. Rather small crowd here at the Big O, as this is a big stadium. Future baseball was in doubt in this ballpark. Last year they had a chance. They had the best record in the National League, best record in baseball.
Yeah, it's too
And
bad.
baseball stopped.
And they were drawing pretty good last year. Tonight, not much of a crowd tonight.
Nope. Last year the people were starting to get excited about this club.
There's more than just that guy here.
That's a friend of Bob Uecker. Uecker called in special for him. Rondell White, the hitter. Little looper down the right field line. This is going to be trouble. It's a fair ball. Everett has it. The throw to second base and a leadoff double for Rondell White. That's his second hit in the ball game.
Well, you don't see too many hitters hitting the ball any place near Carl Everett and cruising into second base. They are going full out. A lot of the Expo people feel that Rondell White reminds them a lot of Andre Dawson, the way he approaches the ball as a hitter. Here he fights the fastball off. Now you see Everett getting over there and that strong throwing arm, but White hustling into second base.
And pitch inside. Rondell White, 21 stolen bases in 25 attempts. He tried to steal third on the play that wound up in the collision at third base. Fouled off.
It's unfortunate what happened to Mike Lansing coming off that last road trip, because he is having a good year. He's been one of the most productive Expos this season.
Set an all-time record for RBIs for a second baseman.
And they feel he might be the best defensive shortstop on this Expo ball club, but he's had such a productive year at second base, they're reluctant to move him over to shortstop.
I hear you. He's had a pretty good year against the New York Mets. Coming into tonight's action, he was hitting over 300, a couple of home runs, and 13 RBIs. 13 of his 57. Ball looking away. 2 balls, 1 strike.
The way he's been hitting the Mets this year, he's pretty comfortable against them. Got Shane Andrews on deck. Can't give up too many runs in this ball game the way Martinez is throwing the ball.
Right back through the middle. Pulsipher slaps it down with his hand. It might have cost him the out at first. I don't know. It looked like Kent would have been there. Boy, bare hand slapping that ball. Got to be concerned about that. Boy, that's a good way to break a finger.
Well, Lansing hitting the ball right back up the middle. Good pitch. You see Pulsipher grabbing at the ball and knocking it down. This guy, you know, coming across the infield, but no play at first base. Got to be careful with when you're a pitcher. You got to make the out, but you don't want to ruin your hand, especially what the future Pulsipher could possibly have.
Boy, that is very true. Runners at first and third, nobody out. Shane Andrews, the hitter. It was his hit on that steal attempt that went by Butch Husky. Husky falling down and being run over by Rondell White. That was the first run in the ball game. Just like that, it's 2-0. So an RBI for Shane Andrews in the game. And chance to double it.
And Felipe Alou, very aggressive manager.
Fly ball deep to right. This will at least get 1 run in. Back on the warning track, makes the play. Tagging up at first is Lansing, and he's in at second base in scoring position. 2-0 Expos.
Well, good hitting by Shane Andrews and real good base running by Mike Lansing. Here's Everett going back. Look at that hand out. Thought he was closer to the wall than he was. Now he makes the grab and a strong throw to second base, but Lansing heads up base running, is now in scoring position.
Kind of an outfielder has to catch the ball over his head awkwardly, moving away from the infield. That's the time to take advantage of it. As you said, Francis, very good base running. Strike 1 to Fletcher. Fletcher hit a line drive right at Orsolak. 1 man down, runner at second. It is 2-0 now, Expos. 2 runs on 5 hits. Mets, no runs on 3 hits. Pulsipher looking down and away. Steps off. Lansing, another guy who will steal a base in a heartbeat. 22 for 25 on the season. Pitcher just can't get into a pattern of looking and throwing, looking and throwing. Big swing and a miss by Fletcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fletcher has not had a good season as far as runners in scoring position, hitting less than 240. His batting average on the season 287 coming into today's play, so that is not doing a good job when it counts. Again, they're looking down and away. Boy, he just does get a piece of that to stay alive. Pulsipher went away with the fastball that time.
We talked about Pedro Martinez being an uncomfortable pitcher to hit against. I would say Pulsipher also is uncomfortable.
I agree.
He's all over the place with his fastball. Has that big curveball. He loves to throw that hook.
Hundley again wants it down and away. And there is that hook. Fletcher again fighting off a tough pitch.
He can't allow Fletcher to hit a good pitch, not with Martinez on deck.
Expos have lost Moises Alou for the rest of the season. He will be operated on that shoulder tomorrow. And it's a blow for this organization. Line shot, base hit. Everett's got a great arm. They're holding the runner. And wisely, Bronya cuts it off. So fine job by Fletcher to get a base hit. Runners at first and third. Still only 1 out, and Martinez will hit.
Now here's Lansing. He wanted to score. Rusty mentioned his good speed. He was held up because of what Everett has done in the past. He leads the Mets in outfield assists. And he has a good, strong throwing arm.
Well, he has 7 assists on the season, and obviously he missed a pretty good period of time this year. Bunting, he hit it twice with the bat.
He sacrificed a runner to second base. Lansing was holding his ground at third.
This is just a regular sacrifice unless something awkward happens. The runner at third looks like he's going to hold.
Now, with that in mind, you kind of lull the defense to sleep to say, okay, he's going to sacrifice the runner over. Why would you not put that runner on third in motion right now?
He's not going. Ball fouled off. So no balls and 2 strikes now.
Now we've talked about Pulsipher's curveball, the confidence he has in striking out right-handed hitters. He can throw the fastball by Martinez, but the pitch that Martinez should have more trouble swinging at and making contact with is the curveball.
So that would be what you would call here.
Oh, absolutely. Although, as I mentioned earlier, Pulsipher's been known to bounce the hook. See if Martinez is still bunting.
Yes, he is, and he is out. That is a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Pulsipher. So the runner is still at first and third now. 2 men down, and FP Santangelo is the hitter. He has struck out and hit a line drive to the wall and right. Pardon me, and left. 2-0 Expos. Pulsipher trying to work out of the jam. These clubs are even on the season. 6 wins, 6 losses, and what a bunt. Spires scoops it, throws, safe at first. Santangelo drops the bunt down. The 3rd run in for the Expos. Got to give him credit.
Oh, that was a beauty. A perfect bunt on artificial turf. Nice play by Spires. I thought it was pretty close at first base. Santangelo with a terrific bunt. Spires a la Brooks Robinson. Well, Santangelo was safe by more than a step at first base. So good bunting. Heads up play by the Expos. Felipe Alou had to be impressed.
3-0. Second run in the inning. 7 hits now. It was a big play in the Colorado game against Cincinnati. Larry Walker, of all people, has 29 home runs. Dropped the bunt down the third baseline with 2 men down. Drove in the winning run.
How about those Rockies? They swept the Reds.
It's a big deal.
Especially with the Dodgers. You kind of expect the Dodgers to win 2 of 3 from the Pirates or sweep the Pirates. The Rockies, with the heat on, swept the Reds.
Rockies winning 4 in a row. The Dodgers now have won 3 in a row. Pulsipher steps off. Count 1-1. Zelenik is the hitter. Line shot coming in hard as Orsulak. They're sending the runner. The throw cut off, tossed to third, called out. So the run counts, makes it 4-0. The tag at third will end the inning. 3 runs into the bottom of the 4th for the Expos, and after 4, it is 4-0 Montreal. Here's our proof positive replay of the game, brought to you by MCI. On that play, Orsulak's going to throw it. Now they're going to score a run here. But nice job by Spires. Little pick, flips it in. Vizcaino's where he's supposed to be. The MCI proof positive replay. So we'll do a run score. That was good execution. The fundamentals by the New York Mets. Pulsipher hitting for himself. Fouls it back. Top of the 5th inning. Mets trailing by 4 runs. There's that off-speed pitch down and in, leaving the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mets 31 wins and 24 losses since the All-Star break. Count goes full. Pulsipher looking at third base coach Mike Cubbage for some help on that. And not much down there. Ground ball. Nice play by Shane Andrews. A little toss to Martinez, covering, 1 down.
Well, the Mets have been hot on this road trip. Go out to the West Coast, come back with 7-5 so far in the trip. You have to go all the way back to '86 to find a comparable trip.
Well, it's been a good one. Highlighted by the 3 wins in a row here in Montreal, but trailing by 4, the Mets have a long haul to come back.
Starting off on a good note in LA, 2 of 3 for the Dodgers.
Mets easily could have won all 3 games in San Diego. Just didn't work out that way. Strike called. 2-1. Line drive to left field. Cordero there. And although he had to bounce up a little bit to catch it, they're 2 down.
You know, we were talking about the Dodgers before and the Reds. I saw where Ray Knight said Barry Larkin should be the most valuable player in the National League. Dante Bichette, maybe number 2. I think they're forgetting the guy with the Dodgers, their catcher, Mike Piazza.
Piazza out with an injury part of the season. Obviously, all those guys in the hunt.
And the Dodgers struggle without him.
Line shot to center. Going hard is Rondell White, and he makes a nice play to end the inning. So 1-2-3. Quick top of the 5th. It's 4-0 Expos. We can't forget Sammy Sosa either. Will Cordero leads it off. Pulsipher misses with the fastball. Bottom of the 5th. Expos leading 4-0. Ground out and a strikeout so far for Cordero. 1 ball and 1 strike. This at bat. Fans, this breaking the action ought to be a great time to break for the great taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, and it never lets you down. So make it a Bud Light. 2 balls, 1 strike. to left fielder Will Cordero. Make it 3-1. He's sitting right behind the plate, trying to keep it down. He does. Full count.
This is like spring training for Todd Hundley. He was out for over a month with that bad wrist.
It is so tough to come back from a hand injury that was serious, and his was.
Especially when you're a catcher.
All 4.
One thing catchers don't do, whether they're injured or not injured, if they're not in a lineup, they don't get behind the plate very often. They catch in the bullpen. And even today, you got bullpen catchers, so guys aren't bending up and down as much as they used to in the bullpen. So when you come back from an inactive period, it's tough on the wheels.
Well, he had those cramps that he had to leave the game on this trip. That is Paul Bird warming.
Yeah, Hundley left the game in San Diego with cramps in his legs from catching.
Breaking ball misses, ball 1. Sean Berry, the hitter. And also it has to be really tough on him because he takes a pounding with that left wrist, and that's the one that's injured. That's the one that he's got to absorb all those pitches from. And I would think that Pulsipher is difficult to catch.
Well, I mentioned now as a hitter, he looks like he's an uncomfortable guy to bat against. If you're uncomfortable to hit against, you're uncomfortable to catch because the ball's all over the place. You get that sailing fastball. He runs the fastball in on hitters. And you see the hand well protected, but it's still weak, I'm sure. Although Todd Hundley is a very strong guy, and he's a weightlifter, and I'm sure he's been involved with the weights while he was going through his rehab period. But I'm sure Pulsipher is tough, very tough to catch. You do a lot of grabbing when you're catching Bill Pulsipher. Usually you allow the ball to come to you when you're a catcher. You try to use soft hands, but when you're catching a guy like Pulsipher with his ball movement and the way he moves the ball from the inside of the plate to the outside of the plate, you do a lot of stabbing at the ball.
Well, Pulsipher is yet not to go 6 innings. He's in the bottom of the 5th now. There's a strike. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sean Berry has grounded back to the pitcher and flied to left. It is Cordero at first. He walked to lead off the inning. Good pitch by Pulsipher. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. See Jerry Manuel giving some of the signs. Felipe Alou, usually a very aggressive manager. His team runs a lot. Not here. Chop foul. And we were talking about Bichette and some of his teammates, Francis. They have a chance to do something that has not happened since 1977 in the National League. That is to have 4 guys hit 30 home runs in a season. It's an amazing feat when you think about it.
Well, if they put an asterisk next to Roger Maris's name, because of Coors Field, maybe they should come up with an asterisk for that. Yeah, what do you think?
I think they're playing at a ballpark that was built for Major League Baseball, and whatever happens there, happens there. I mean, they could also say the same thing about this ball they've been using the last few years. Ball hit down the right field line. Everett's there.
Well, the Colorado Rockies have certainly captured the imagination of the fans in Denver, Colorado. They play some exciting baseball out there, and the ballpark has made for some exciting games. But still,
the ball jumps.
A lot easier to hit that ball out there than it is in most ballparks.
Very true.
I should say the ball carries, but it's not a lot easier to hit it.
Pitch out by the Mets. Cordero not going. 9 for 14 in his steal attempts. Rondell White, the hitter. He has singled and doubled.
Would you
scored
send him
twice.
Send him right now, since they pitched out?
leaning back. High pop-up straight behind home plate. Into the stands.
A lot of times the team will send a runner after one pitch out because very few catchers will call for 2 pitch outs in a row.
Well, it's almost easier to steal at second base. Pulsipher has that awkward move. They haven't seen enough of him. Kind of is a tough thing for the base runner to pick up. But it's a time for them to be aggressive. They're ahead 4-0. Why? You're not going to be aggressive on the bases now. When are you going to be?
And they're a very aggressive running baseball team here in Montreal.
A little better count for him now. 2 balls and a strike.
Mentioned how Tommy Harper's the base running instructor here with the Expos.
Boy, there's a gigantic hole between first and second. Way up and away, and Pulsipher is really struggling with his rhythm. 3-1. Paul Bird is ready. He has thrown up enough pitches. Runner going right at Spires. He goes to second, out to first, double play. Mets make a fine play started by Spires to get out of the inning. After 5, the Expos 4, the Mets nothing. Top of the 6th inning, 4-0 Expos. Carl Everett will lead it off. Pedro Martinez has only given up 3 hits through 5. Strike 1. 6-0 lifetime against the Mets. Boy, they're going to have a long way to come back if they're going to get to him tonight. 1-1. Ground ball to the second baseman Lansing. 1 down. That'll bring up Jeff Kent, who's 0 for 2. Yeah, Lansing has not endeared himself to the French Canadians. That's a tough place to be here. And really one of the strengths of this province, and particularly this city, is the French culture. You never want that to leave here. Kent fouls it straight back. Strike 1. Top of the 6th inning. Ball fouled off 0-2. There's a big referendum here in Montreal. This is about the 2nd or 3rd time they have tried to maybe move away from the country of Canada, become their own entity here in Quebec. No balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Ground ball to at third. Berry to Andrews, 2 down.
Well, you're talking about whether or not baseball would survive here in Montreal. They say that the state of this team is a lot better than some of the other teams in the major leagues. It's amazing when you look over to Toronto how well they draw. Even last year, the Expos drew okay, but not like Toronto. Of course, Toronto has the beautiful ballpark, and they tell me most of the headquarters for corporations are in Toronto rather than Montreal.
Well, that happened the first time these referendums started. A lot of the companies moved out of Quebec. Certainly have to give credit to the Blue Jays for the edifice they have built and the way they operate it. Good changeup, and Bronya way out front. No balls, 2 strikes. Of course, they've also had an excellent ball club. This has been a struggling year for them. They say they're going to break that team up in Toronto. High chopper. Martinez waits, makes the transfer. 3 up, 3 down in the 6th for the Mets. After 5.5 innings, it's still 4-0 Montreal. Back here at the Big O, bottom of the 6th, 4-0 Expos. Mike Lansing, the hitter. To a decent round of applause this time. He's grounded out, singled, and scored.
Well, he mentioned how he was involved in a scuffle on the plane or a discussion on the plane, or there's an insulting plane flight.
Ground ball deep in the hole. Vizcaino, long throw off the turf. And it's not there in time. A little bit up the line. Good try by Vizcaino. But another hit for Mike Lansing.
Infield hit for Lansing. Vizcaino did all he could do, just get the ball across the infield. Throws his ball off balance and just hopes that it beats the runner. It didn't. How about Mike Lansing? He's been booed during his homestand because of the last road trip. He was flying on a plane with the Expos, and the stewardess came on the PA system with some instructions, and
There goes a runner. And he's in there. Stolen base number 23 for Lansing.
The stewardess initially issued the orders in French, and Mike Lansing was not happy with it. Voiced his disapproval.
Well, probably cut back the drinking on the flight, to be truthful, is an obvious answer to that. You have to not only be a gentleman, you have to be a man.
Would you allow drinking on a plane if you were a manager?
Yes. But if somebody abused it, it would cost them a lot of money. You know, you got to treat people like men. Fine. Act like a man. If you don't act like a man, I'm going to show you how you treat people. You want to act like a child? We'll see how you stomp and rave when you pay that big fine. And I really believe in that.
Well, you can't fine players more than $500.
Yes, you can. There goes the runner again. Ground ball. Foul.
Let me explain to you. The Players Association would appeal it.
That's fine. They can appeal all they want.
And you would lose.
We'll see. I think you can set up your own rules. I think there's right and wrong in life. And if somebody does something, I mean, I can remember flights that I've had with clubs where they destroy a plane. You know, the players that do it should have to pay for it.
I agree. I agree. By the way, the flight attendant was a 60-year-old gentleman who was not happy with what transpired and reported Mike Lansing.
No, he shouldn't have been. That's wrong. They have their own requirements. They're supposed to make the announcements in both French and English. And show very much tolerance on the part of the second baseman.
I agree.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped up and back. Go ahead.
I was on a flight one time. It was a commercial flight where the authorities were waiting at the gate for a couple of the players.
You know, again, you want to treat people like men. You do. They act like children. You have to treat them like children. Just make them understand if they do the same thing again, it's definitely going to be painful. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, breaking ball way inside, hits Andrews.
That's an uncomfortable at bat I was talking about.
As only the 4th hit batsman of the year for Bill Pulsipher, but Andrews says, I don't care if it's only 4. He got me in a bad spot. A little gimpish. It'll bring up Darren Flesher.
Gimpish. Well, Andrews limps down to first base.
Fletcher, the left-hander, has lined out and singled. He's also scored a run, so he's done a very good job against Pulsipher. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Fans, you know there's only one thing better than a Mets win, and that's celebrating with an ice-cold Budweiser, the king of beers. No balls and a strike on Fletcher. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. Mets are trailing by 4 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fouled off out of play. No balls and 2 strikes.
They're talking about the flight that the Expos just came back on from a recent road trip. They also tore up a number of seats on that flight. So
I understand.
That was a tough flight back.
Evidently, as I said before, somebody's got to pay for that. I hate that when players act like kids. You know, it's a shame when an organization that tries to go about it as well as the Expos do, as much as they're trying to build their fan base from the French base in this province, that some idiot goes out there and says something stupid. And it happens to be a player. That doesn't reflect very well.
16 seats were torn up.
Well, I know one thing. There'll be some deductions and some payroll checks. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Fletcher. Looking down and away. Good breaking ball, and again Fletcher staying right in there with Pulsipher. He fouled off 2 really tough pitches in his last at bat, and then he singled and put runners on first and third. Lansing wisely was held by Jerry Manuel on Fletcher's single because it was a shot right at Carl Everett. Again fouled straight back. So Fletcher really has not had a bad swing yet at Pulsipher, and he's difficult for left-handed hitters.
Well, Fletcher's been he's had a couple good years with the Expos, but from what I understand, Tim Laker, one of their other catchers, is a favorite with the pitchers.
There we go again, right? Line shot to center. Coming in hard is Thompson. He makes the play. So tough luck for Darren Fletcher. Boy, that was a terrific at bat. He hits a rope to center field, and he's out.
Well, he's hit the ball hard against Bill Pulsipher all 3 times, and lining out the left field his first time up, and then lining out the center field there, picking up a sharp single to right field. Hit the ball hard against a tough left-hander.
I agree.
You got to be careful with the pitchers. When they complain about a guy like Darren Fletcher, it's probably because he's not paying enough attention to the pitcher, going out and telling him how good he's throwing and how the ball's moving so well. He's concentrating on his hitting. That'll turn the pitcher off.
I think they're maybe a little bit temperamental. Pulsipher with a pickoff. They got him. Oh, what a pickoff play. And terrible base running by Lansing.
But a good slide.
Yeah, that was a great jump. I think he was going to try to jump up to the top of the stadium and outweight him.
Here it is. Pulsipher with a good quick move to second base. And they got him by a lot. What a slide.
Statement is, if you come down, you're out. Big play for Pulsipher. 2 men down. Now only a runner at first base. So Martinez will have to swing the bat instead of bunt. How embarrassing. Martinez takes a hack at that fastball up in the striking zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We haven't seen a runner picked off second base by that much in a long time. Usually it's a bang-bang play at second base.
Good curveball hit in the hole. How about that? That curveball was for a strike, not down and in. And Pedro Martinez gets his 7th hit of the season. So runners back on first and second.
You see Martinez just meeting the ball. Just putting the head of the bat out there and letting the bat do the work.
A little Ty Cobbish there, wasn't it? With the hand split a little bit. Well, that's going to do it for Pulsipher. And as we make this change, his call to the bullpen is sponsored by MCI Long Distance. That'll do it for Bill Pulsipher, Francis, and there's a new pitcher on the mound.
Paul Byrd on the mound for the New York Mets. Been in 10 games. 2-0 on the season with the New York Mets. 2.35 ERA. Struck out 18 and 15 in the 3rd innings. So Paul Byrd on relief of Bill Pulsipher. And tomorrow night right here on Sports Channel, see the same New York Mets taking on the Houston Astros. Game Time, our pregame show here on Sports Channel at 7 p.m., followed by the first pitch at 7:30. It'll be the Astros and the Mets. That's tomorrow night, Tuesday night, right here on Sports Channel. If you can't make it out to Shea, join us, and you can be an active participant. It'll be Inter-Mets night again here on Sports Channel.
Ground ball, base hit up the middle. Thompson lets it fly. They're coming around. They cut it off. Bronya cuts the ball off. So another run in. That makes it 5-0. Andrews scoring the run.
Well, the Mets really had their work cut out for them. A 5-0 lead for Pedro Martinez, who's been tough so far, allowing only 3 Met hits.
Rodzelanek, the hitter. Strike on the outside corner. Rodzelanek has walked, doubled, and singled. He's had a fine night. 11 hits for the Expos now. Hard shot. Bronya picks it. He'll tag first on his own. That will end the inning. But another run in for the Expos after 6. They lead New York 5-0.
Makes a graceful skyhook with a thundering dunk, and the Shack Attack legend is born. Now, for the first time ever, you can honor one of basketball's best with this beautifully detailed gold card. This officially endorsed 23-karat gold card collectible of Shaquille O'Neal includes his 95 statistics and is limited to only 10 firing days, and comes with its own acrylic holder, a special gift box, and certificate of authenticity. This great gift is now being offered at the low price of only $29.95 to basketball fans of every age. This exclusive Shaquille O'Neal limited edition gold card is available on a first-come, first-served basis, so hurry and order yours.
To order your Shaquille O'Neal 23-karat gold card, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-845-8787. That's 1-800-845-8787. Or send check or money order for $29.95 plus $4.50 shipping to SSCA Shack Gold Card, P.O. Box 1809, Hicksville, New York. No CODs, please.
Check out Sports Channel in September. College football excitement kicks off with Hofstra. The young Mets battle the Braves, Phillies, Reds, and more. Join Rusty Staub for the hottest baseball topics at the plate. Catch daily racing results from Belmont on Thoroughbred Action. Halls of Fame profiles NFL great Sonny Jurgensen. And coming in October, check out the defending champion Devils and the new look Islanders. It's all coming your way, only on Sports Channel.
History. Loyalty. Passion. A new season has begun on Sports Channel.
Well, that's not the ball that's in play. That's one that was captured by one of the fans. Segui has replaced Andrews at first. Top of the 7th inning, Todd Hundley leads it off. Strike on the outside corner. 5-0 Expos. Mets have only been able to scratch out 3 hits off Pedro Martinez. Fly ball, shallow left field. Cordero there, 1 down.
That right there is a potential to hit 20 home runs. Talking about Todd Hundley. If he stayed healthy this year, he'd have been there.
Certainly changed everybody's opinion of him as an offensive player this year. He got off to a good start, and he tailed off, but as you said yourself, Francis, he did have some nagging injuries bothering him for a while. Then he got hot again, and then the really bad injury knocked him out of the lineup.
He was hitting the foot a couple times with foul balls, and when he was hitting, he also was hitting the hands with foul tips.
Ryan Thompson way out front of the changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's why it amazed me that Mike Piazza coming into tonight's action batting around 360.
Martinez steps out. Bichette, Sosa, Piazza, even Derek Bell in the hunt.
For a catcher to lead the league in hitting, it's just a miracle.
In this day and age, for sure. Used to happen more often. Breaking ball way out of the strike zone, 2-2. That's a long road to hoe here. Down 5-0. Popped up to the infield. It's Alonic. 2 down. That'll bring up Billy Spires. Spires getting his 3rd at bat of the night because Butch Husky was injured on a collision with Rondell White at 3rd base.
He injured his wrist. He strained his wrist. The first guy I thought of was Cliff Floyd, who almost had his career ended at Shea Stadium when Todd Hundley ran into him.
Ground ball right down the line. David Segay, nice play, and Martinez, major league putout right there. 3 up, 3 down. That's 10 in a row for Pedro Martinez after 6.5. 5-0 Expos.
Bob Popp in the Sports Authority Game Time Studios. Yankees taking on the Indians in Cleveland. Big series for the Yankees. 6th inning. Runners on the corners for Darryl Strawberry. The former Met with a single. Yanks take a 2-0 lead. Don Mattingly a sacrifice fly. It's now 3-0 Yankees as they play in the 8th inning. Back to Montreal we go with Fran and Rusty. Guys.
Thanks, Bob. You're looking at Chris Jones in the outfield in right. And a new pitcher on the mound, Dave Telgater.
See Telgater's record, 0-1 in the season, 7.36 ERA. He's been in only 4 games for the Mets. And the rest of his story, 11 strikeouts in 14 2/3 innings. So Chris Jones will bat number 9.
Telgater with the ball to start off the inning. Will Cordero the hitter. Fly ball center field. Looks like Everett getting ready to receive that ball. So Thompson out of the game. Everett to center. Jones to right. One man down, and Sean Berry the hitter. Berry is 0 for 3. Telgater deciding to pitch from the stretch position all the way. He's a guy who was a starter a lot of his career. Two balls, no strikes. So we'll see if Sean Berry gets the fastball that he's hoping for. See Hundley give the sign. Looks like he wants it away, whatever it is. It's fouled off, out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. We talked a little earlier about that injury to Cliff Floyd. We'll try to show you that play that took place in Shea Stadium right after this at bat by Berry. Fly ball, shallow right field. Coming in hard is Jones, and he's got it. 2 down.
Well, back at Shea Stadium when Cliff Floyd was injured, it just, you could feel the pain and you could hear him yelling out in pain at Shea. Here it is. Todd Hundley making contact with him. Listen to this.
Boy, oh boy. Boy, you know he is in an ultimate pain right there. Wow.
They thought it was going to be a career-ending injury, but he's back.
A broken wrist, dislocated. Wasn't much about that you want to talk about that was positive. The only thing that's positive is that he is making a comeback. Rondell White. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 men down. Tailgater now pitching for the Mets. He's the 3rd pitcher used by Dallas Green tonight. Pulsipher started, went 5 2/3, gave up 5 runs on 10 hits. He came in and ended the inning. A line drive, an inside-out swing on a pitch inside. Good hitting by Rondell White. It's his 3rd hit of the ball game.
Well, I mentioned the Expos field. Some good things could happen to this guy right here, Rondell White. He always kisses that crucifix after getting the base hit.
And here's Mike Lansing. Ground out, 2 base hits. A run scored, a stolen base. A good tag up on 1 play to the outfield. Tailgater says, Rondell White, I know you have 21 stolen bases. Short lead for White. Fouled off to the right side.
He's got to try to steal the base here, get that 6th run in. Although the way Pedro Martinez is pitching, maybe they don't have to steal the base.
Mets have never beat him. He's won twice this year, 6 times. Lifetime, 6-0.
There he is, Pedro Martinez, and he's in control tonight. He's only allowed 3 hits.
Tailgater to the plate. Line shot. Great play by Billy Spires. Dives and makes that play. That would have been extra bases. And maybe that 6th run would have scored on that, Francis, but not now. After 7, 5-0, Montreal.
Five zip. We go to the top of the 8th inning. The Mets trailing the Expos. 12 hits for the Expos. Only 3 for the Mets. And leading off for New York will be Chris Jones. He takes ball 1 from Pedro Martinez. Martinez in pursuit of his 13th victory of the season. Good fastball right there, 1-1. Mets travel home after the game tonight to start a homestand. Jones is fooled and he prays it rolls foul. And his prayers are answered. Tomorrow night, the Houston Astros will take on the Mets at Shea Stadium. If they can't make it out to the ballpark, you can catch all the action right here on Sports Channel. And it will be Inter-Mets night here on Sports Channel. You'll receive email, faxes, and phone calls.
We'll be ready.
1-2 on Chris Jones. Martinez misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3. Jones goes down. 1 out here in the 8th. Martinez is in control. And we'll take a look at the GMC mid-game recap. Andrews and Santangelo, 2 RBIs. Martinez with 6 strikeouts in 7 innings. Pulsipher is no longer in the ball game. He gave up 10 hits and 5 earned runs. And Joe Orsulak takes up high, ball 1. Rusty, do you think it would help the Expos organization to build a ballpark similar to Camden Yards in a beautiful area here in Montreal?
Well, I think they're in the ballpark they're going to stay in. I don't think this province is going to spend any more money building a new edifice here for baseball.
2-0 pitch. It's now 2-1 on Joe Orsulak.
A lot of people have talked about renovating Parc Cherie to get back to that homey atmosphere, but I don't see that happening.
There's a looper in the center field. White coming in and playing it on a hop. You saw what White just did. He had to jump up for that ball when it hit the turf. Ozzie Smith works on that in infield practice. How many infielders or outfielders do you see that have to jump up in the air during the course of a game because of the artificial turf? These guys have to do it.
Yes, they do.
And Ozzie works on this during infield practice.
Ozzie likes to work on things in infield practice. That's one of the reasons why he's such a great defensive player. He enjoys working out. He takes a lot of throws where he doesn't look at second base. He just automatically throws to where the second baseman's supposed to be. Never even looks there. He does that a lot in his practices. Shows you why he can make all those incredible plays and still get the ball to the bag.
Orselak leading off first base. Vizcaíno hitting a high fly ball to right field. Santangelo's under it and makes the grab for out number 2. Talking to Joe McElvain before the ball game down in the field, and he was talking about Ray Ordonez. And I was told that in a playoff game where Norfolk beat, I believe it was Richmond in the final game, everybody was talking about a play Ray Ordonez made. And a lot of people are putting him in that Ozzie Smith category, and that's an exclusive category defensively.
There's no doubt about that. Did he get any hits in the game? That's the key.
I know that'll keep him out of the lineup. Everett puts it in play. They go to second for the force. That'll do it for the Mets here in the 8th. They strand a runner. They fail to score. Here at the Big O, it's been Pedro Martinez night. 5-zip Expos, and we'll be back.
Fans, join us on Sunday, September 17th for Dunkin' Donuts Coffee Mug Day. All fans age 15 and over at the 140 Mets Phillies game will receive a 14-ounce mug courtesy of Dunkin' Donuts. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX during business hours or stop by the Mets clubhouse shops. A per-ticket surcharge applies.
Folks, Fan Appreciation Day is coming up on Saturday, September 30th. Tickets will be drawn throughout the 140 Mets Braves game for great prizes, including weekend getaways, automobiles, gift certificates, and more. For ticket information or to charge seats by phone, call the Mets at 718-507-TIXX during business hours. A per-ticket surcharge applies. Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here at the Big O. It's been clean. It's been crisp for the Expos. 5-0 lead. 12 hits for the Spos, 4 for the Mets. Career-wise, Pedro Martinez is 6-0 against the Mets. There's a good chance he's going to be 7-0. David Segui leads it off for the Expos. He'll be followed by Darren Fletcher and then Pedro Martinez. Segui takes a strike. Segui left the Mets. People talked to Segui. He never said a bad word about Dallas Green or the Mets. Said he enjoyed his stay in New York. He's enjoying his stay up here because he's tattooing the baseball, batting .309.
Just an unfortunate situation for him. Rico Bronya came up and played tremendously well. Certainly earned the right to be the everyday first baseman. And playing him in left field is a disservice to him because he does not run well. So to get someplace else, I mean, that was a good trade for both ball clubs and both players.
Foul out of play.
That's what's actually supposed to happen on trades. Both clubs are supposed to get a benefit. And boy, the benefit to Segui was to play every day.
Yeah, but if you're a general manager, you want to get the best part of that trade so you can raise your hand and tell people about it. I don't blame him.
That also happens.
1-2 on David Segui. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, so Segui goes down. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Worst trade the Mets ever made would it have to be Nolan Ryan?
Well, that ranks.
Of course, Jim Fregosi was at the end of his career when he came over to the Mets. Tom Seaver trade.
It was certainly more controversial.
As Darren Fletcher steps in, he's 1 for 3, but he's hit the ball hard all 3 times up, lined out twice, and singled to right field.
In fact, both times Tom Seaver left the New York Mets. It was under unusual circumstances. and went to the White Sox. He was unprotected on the list. Scooped up by the White Sox. I think the Mets felt that with his salary, his age, they would not take him.
Yeah. 1-1 on Fletcher. Takes a strike, so it's 1-2. There's Nolan Ryan wanted to leave New York.
It'd be tough for him to break into the rotation. Best thing that ever happened to him was to go to another team where he became the guy that pitched every fifth day. There are periods of time where he wanted to pitch with 4 days rest.
And a 1-2 pitch to Fletcher, pulled hard down the right field line, fair ball. There should be extra bases for the Expo catcher. Jones chasing it around the corner, and Fletcher's going to go for 3. The throw in plenty of time, but the ball is dropped by Billy Squires.
Good job on the relay by the Mets. Jones had a little trouble in the corner. Fletcher right down that line. He's coasting there. Now he says they're having a little trouble. I'm going to try it for third. Throw beats him by a mile. Spires drops the ball.
Look at him. Look at him. He knew he was a dead man. They got a reprieve.
They have not put an error up either.
Pedro Martinez, who singled his last time up, is 1 for 3 in his ball game. Martinez takes a ball, so it's 2-0 on the Expo right-hander. Aaron Fletcher on third base. As you can see, Martinez 1 for 3 in his ball game.
I guess they're going to give a triple, Francis, because there's no error up on the board. I don't know how.
Well, what do you give him? A double and an error?
Yes.
So you're assuming the ball beat him?
Assuming. Jeez. We got it on tape.
Popped up to the right side. Jeff Kent calling for it. Makes the grab. 2 down. So a 2-man gone. Fletcher still on third base. The batter will be F.P. Santangelo. He has a bunt base hit. He has a single center field, an RBI. He lined out sharply to left field, and he struck out to lead off the game.
I'd like to sign those autographed balls. Santangelo, Grudzalonic. He'll be there for hours.
Big S, Big G. There's a strike to Santangelo.
Good breaking ball by Telgater.
I mentioned earlier that Santangelo saw Olympic Stadium the first day he played here. He hits a fly ball to center field. Everett cruising underneath it. Makes the grab for out number 3. So, Fletcher stranded on third. We played 8 here at the Big O. And it's 5-0 Montreal.
All right. You're parked outside Penn Station when 2 guys with a cooler and binoculars come up and ask you directions to shave. Not only are they wearing Phillies caps, but they are dressed in stop sign Philly red from head to toe. What do?
They're packing.
Cooler, binoculars, transistor radio.
Degree of disorientation?
If they were Crayolas, they'd be tourist green.
Confiscate the cooler, write him up for indecent exposure, and tell him to go downstairs and catch the path train to Hoboken.
Zip. The Expos on top of the Mets. Last chance for the Mets. They'll send Jeff Kent to lead it off. He'll be followed by Rico Bronya and then Todd Hundley. Kent takes a ball. Pedro Martinez in complete control tonight. In this ball game, he's handcuffed Jeff Kent. Kent is 0 for 3. He takes a strike. 1-1. By the way, I want to pass along congratulations, I should say, to Ann and Clark Lewis on the birth of their daughter, Catherine Ann Lewis. And Jeff Kent just gets severely jammed. Nobody can get to him.
I'll tell you what, Pedro Martinez probably could have got to that, but he backed off. He thought that the catcher was going to get there.
By the way, I mentioned Ann and Clark Lewis.
Yeah, you see the crack. Look at it.
And their daughter, Catherine, once again, our congratulations. Catherine was born 2 weeks ago. Ann Lewis, just a tremendous Mets fan. One and two on Jeff Kent. You never like to see that gamer cracked.
I'll tell you one thing, that one's history.
And the 1-2 pitch. Pulled foul. By the way, the New York Mets AAA Farm Club Norfolk beat Ottawa, the AAA affiliate for the Expos tonight, tying up that final series in the International League at 1 apiece. I mentioned some of the guys in that ball club: Ray Ordonez,
yeah,
Paul Wilson, Jay Payton. 1-2 pitch, pulled to the left side. Buried to Segui. Scored 5-3. One down. So with one man gone, the batter will be Rico Brogna.
Toby Harrow, the manager of that club, obviously has done a fine job this year in Norfolk. And the Mets have called up a lot of his team.
Toby, a good major league player. He knows the game as Rico Brogna takes a strike. Toby, a superb fastball hitter.
He never sat on the heater, did he? He just let it fly, didn't he?
Fouled back. In fact, you were talking about Ted Williams before. Toby Harrow broke in under Ted Williams.
Anybody that was under Ted during that period of time he was a manager speaks very highly of him and his assistance in improving them as a hitter.
Toby told me he learned from Ted and Billy Martin. Outside, 1 and 2 on Rico Brogna. You pick up a little bit here and a little bit there from your managers, and then you form your own managerial personality. Brogna fouls the pitch off again. Brogna has struggled tonight against Pedro Martinez, struck out twice and bounced back to Martinez. Pretty good pitching family, Pedro Martinez and his brother Ramon. Ramon having a superb season with the Dodgers. There's a drive to center field. Rondell White camped under it, makes the grab. Expos 1 out away from a victory here. So 2 minutes gone. We're in the top of the 9th inning. 5-0 Montreal. And that's the guy that's been in charge tonight, Pedro Martinez. A few years back, traded for Delino DeShields, who was a popular player here in Montreal. The trade was looked upon in an unhappy manner, not only by the fans here in Montreal, but by the players. And even the general manager was forced to make the trade. But Pedro Martinez has gotten the job done. There's a, whoa, what a play by David Segui. What a way to end the ball game. Terrific play by David Segui. And Martinez calmly gets over to first base to take the throw. So it's Pedro Martinez night here at the Big O. Montreal Expos on top of the Mets 5-0. Martinez allowing only 4 hits. And the Expos picking up 13 hits.
This has been a presentation of Sports Channel, a tradition of excellence and innovation in regional sports television.
We
weekends were made for sports. And New Sport, your source for sports news and information, covers all the weekend action with so many games. Who has the time to catch them all? Now you do with Scoreboard Central, your weekend spot on the dial for all the scores, highlights, and more. Scoreboard Central. No more waiting. Get what you want when you want it. Informative and timely. Scoreboard Central. Saturday and Sunday, noon till midnight Eastern on New Sport.